So Marco Delgado defeats Joe Ward in the second round. It was a TKO victory for Delgado. Now, I woke up this morning to a text saying that Joe Ward got stopped in the second round. And the minute I looked it up, you just see Joe Ward on the ground with paramedics tending to him. Now, when you see that, you immediately think, oh my God, Joe Ward's obviously got caught with something. And when you watch the fight, because I watched the fight, you see Delgado get close with shots, and you just think to yourself, "Oh Jesus, he must have caught Joe Ward with a lucky shot." Because it's not good. It's a shock defeat for a high level Irish prospect, well, high level Irish amateur, I should say, to lose on his pro debut. But if you actually watch the fight, he doesn't get caught with a shot. What happens is I think there's like a tangling of feet, or I think Delgado either steps on Ward's foot or something, and it's pretty graphic. But his knee, I think it was his right knee, pops out bad. I mean, Joe Ward went down, and yeah, it was graphic. Because they were showing, the doctors, paramedics were all around him, and they were actually showing basically the knee. And I think one of the doctors popped it back in place, but it looked bad. It looked like a bad injury. It looked painful. It looked very painful. And Joe Ward was not able to stand. He went down, and he was not getting back up. So he lost his pro debut through no fault of his own, essentially, just by an injury, by a freak injury, because, it actually reminds me, if you remember Charles Martin, the guy who he won his world title from, I cannot remember the guy's name, it's a Ukrainian heavyweight, he fought Steve Cunningham, I think he fought Amir Mansour, can't remember the guy's name, he lost in a similar fashion, where the knee just popped out of place, but his didn't look as bad, because if you go back and watch his fight with Charles Martin, he basically was able to keep going for a little bit. I was able to stand. Whereas Joe Ward, as soon as that knee popped out, he was just done. There was no getting up. There was no coming back from that. So it's a freak injury for Joe Ward. The guy, what is the guy's name? The Ukrainian guy. The guy who had the freak injury, who lost to Charles Martin, that was nearly 4 years ago. Be 4 years now in January. He has not fought since. Alright, he has not fought since. I don't know if it's necessarily because of the injury. I know he's with Katy Duva. But he has not fought since, and that didn't look as bad as this injury. They were saying on commentary on DAZN that Joe Ward has a fight scheduled for 2 weeks. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. I'd be very surprised if we see him within the next 8 to 10 months, seriously. And it's a shame for Joe Ward, because there was good things promised of him. I think he's a deal with Murphy's Boxing as well as Lou DiBella. So, good things were expected of Joe Ward. Decent level amateur. Decent level light heavyweight amateur. Good things expected. It's not a loss that's, I don't want to say devastating. I mean, obviously an injury like that is going to be playing on your mind moving forward. But it's not like he's gone in there and been blown out by punches. No, he was winning this fight for all intents and purposes. He was showing a good jab. He's with Buddy McGurk, showing a good jab, decent defensive movement. Don't know about punching power, because we never really saw him throw many power shots. But it's devastating in the sense that it's an injury that might flare up again. You never know. But in terms of him being blown out or anything like that, no. He can come back from that. Injuries happen. They do. And I think when you've lost via injury, a lot of times, even though it's on the record, a lot of times people do tend to kind of look at it and say, well, do you know what? It was an injury. It was a freak injury, but it was an injury, So that's kind of how it is. It's unfortunate for Joe Ward. Looking forward to seeing how he got on in the pros. He seems a decent enough shout, but yeah. It's unfortunate now that he had to suffer that injury, so we'll wait and see what happens when he'll be back and the extent of the injury, because it did look bad. It looked, if you go back and watch, if it's on YouTube, you can go back and watch that fight. That injury did not look for the faint heart. I'm telling you now, that did not look like an injury you want to see again. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down below. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and as always, I will talk to you after.